Hello everyone and welcome back to my crafting world. My name is Anna. Today I wanted to share with you a craft caddy that I followed a tutorial. And what is her name? Her name is Tasha's Craft Corner, and she made the cutest caddy and I just thought I had to make one. So here we go, guys. This is my prototype. So I'm gonna make one with you guys and we're gonna make it just a tad bit different. Not by much. So it has 6 sides to it, and I've lined the inside with pink and gold polka dots, and black polka dots, and that is from a paper pad that I had in my stash. And here are the little pockets. Now she does make boxes to go inside the pockets, but I did not make the boxes. I just left the pockets like that because we can put stuff in the pockets. And so anyway, I did not make the boxes. So this is the handle that I put on there, and I just simply put some flat back pearls on there. And then I did put this little cluster of flowers. Now, the little cluster of flowers is not adhered to the handle because it can slide around, okay? Just because, somebody may not want it in the middle, may want it on the side. So anyway, and it does flip over in case you have something on the back side and you don't want the flowers to hit it. I did make it to where we can move it. So I just put a bow on here. I put a little center on the bow. I hope you guys can see that. And then I put 3 flowers on the top, and then I put a butterfly, and it is purple as an accent. So on the front side, I put some of this trim, and this is something I had in my stash. I put a bow on each side with a center on there. And then these are some brads that I had. I happen to have 2 of them, and it matched pretty well. And on the pockets, I did line the pockets with some paper from that paper pad. I put some little blings on there, a flower on each pocket, and then some flat back pearls on each pocket as well. So it's the same all the way around. And then the bottom, I did go ahead and line the bottom with some pink paper because I wanted to look finished. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and make one of these guys. I just thought it's so adorable. There's so much room in here. This is I believe 6 inches, 6 inches, and at the widest point 6 by 6. Okay, so I thought I would make one of these with you guys because it is just adorable. I mean, can you imagine filling this up, with some for a birthday or just a gift? That would make the prettiest presentation. So this is my prototype, so I'm gonna go ahead and make one with you guys. And I've already got some prep work done. So let me get my scoreboard because I've already got my paper cut. We need 2 pieces of cardstock, and 110-pound cardstock would be ideal, but of course I don't have it, so I went with some poster board. So you need two sheets of cardstock that are 12 by 10. Okay, on the 10-inch side, we are going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, so I gotta score pretty hard because it is poster board. And then we're going to score at 6.5. Okay, and then we're going to turn it. And it doesn't matter, if you turn it this way or this way. And we're going to score at 3. 6. And 9. Okay, so that's all. You need 2 of these, and you're gonna score them the same. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this for now, and we are going to cut we are going to cut, I don't want to write on here, we are going to cut these lines, the bottom ones that are the smaller half, which is, I don't even know what that is 3.5 inches. We're going to cut, these become tabs, so we're just going to cut down right here. And then on the top, we're going to fold this over and glue it down. Now on your second one that will go attached to this one, you need to cut it 1/16 of an inch on each side, shorter, because these become flaps, okay? So that your flaps don't interfere with your corners, you know, your creases. And I've already done mine. So cut 1/6 of an inch on each side, and I've already glued my top down, because these glue to your other sheet, your other cardstock sheet, and it becomes your caddy, the main part of your caddy. So since I've already done it to this one, I'm not going to cut anything on the side of this one. So this is how much I cut off on each side. I you know, just cut off about 1/16 of an inch. So we are going to go ahead and cut this to release our tabs here. Score mark, okay? Just right down the center of the score mark. I don't cut to one side or the other. Just right down to the center. Okay? And then we are going to go ahead. Let me put some tape on here. That's what I did to the other one. Go ahead and fold this down. Burnish it as well as I can. I'm gonna go ahead and put some glue on there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and burnish all of my score lines. And then right here is where I need to be a little more careful, because I don't want my paper to break. Okay, and these do become thick, but you want them like that for the sturdiness, okay? And this is the other one that I am going to glue down to this one right here. So I'm gonna glue this one, which is my shorter one, to this one. Let me erase that. Even though it's not gonna show. All right, so I'm gonna glue this one down like this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and remove this tab right here, and I'm gonna go above the score line. Okay, so since I know I'm gonna glue this one down, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that one as well. So I'm gonna go above the score line and cut that one right above the score line. Okay. All right, so I am going to glue these like this, making sure that they're butted up right there. Okay. So I am going to put glue on this side. Okay. So let me glue this down. You might see my big head, guys. Do not go over your fold line. I went just a little too close to the score line, but that's okay. We'll deal with that when it's time to deal with it. And you could always fold it over, and that's what I'm going to do. I am going to go ahead and just trim that off. I just don't want it to overlap. Okay, that's good. Okay, we're going to do the same to the other side. We're going to put glue on here, and we are going to glue it down right there. Okay? All right. Let's glue that down. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry just for a second. Make sure that I'm even here. There I am. And actually this should have been on the underside because my flap should have been on the top side. So make sure you glue it under, okay? It'll still be all right, but make sure you glue your tab under, just like I did on this side, so that this flap will cover, when you put it together, it's going to cover the bottom of this underside. Okay, so these are glued together. Now the best way that I found to get an even shaped caddy is that I put these together like that, okay? And I glued that, and then I put this down, glued these together, make sure that your edges are even, and then glued these together and make sure that those edges are even, okay? And once you start gluing down and all your edges are even, you get a nice shaped container. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue this one down first. Okay, and I'm going to put this one right over it. And then I am going to really quickly, just so it will take the right length and it's not too tight or anything like that, okay? Just do a dry fit with the rest of them, okay? So I'm going to make sure that this is glued down. Now, as you can see, it's already, you know, shaped pretty evenly. Now I'm going to take the next two flaps and I'm going to glue them together like this. So I measure right here with my finger how far my glue is going to go, and that is where I put my glue. But not only that, I look to see how far this flap is going to go and put glue on it so that the bottom side will adhere itself to the bottom flap that we just glued together. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And I think this side is going to right there. Okay, there we go. Now I glue these together, make sure my edges are even here, and then push down so that all of that glues together. And you just press down and let the glue do its thing. Okay, there. And then we're going to glue this one together. We're going to do the same thing. Just put my thumb on there, my nail on there, and I know about how much glue is going to be there. And then I'm going to again kind of just add glue to, actually I guess I could just go this way, and this is where my two flaps are going to meet, and glue down. Okay, there's that. I'm going to put these down, make sure my edges are straight, or you know, even, and then hold that down just for a second. Got a little too much glue on there. Hold that down just for a second, let it tack. I'm going to flip it over and push that down. Easy peasy, guys. This is so simple. Love it. Okay, now I am going to cut two. I'm going to keep pressing. I'm going to cut two. I'm going to trace this on my accent color, on my solid colored stock, and I didn't even tell you what I was going to use. I'm using this Mente Suntastic that I got in my design team package for July, and it is so pretty, and it's the perfect size. So I'm going to use that for this caddy, you know, the little bottom panel. So I'm just putting it right there on the edge, that way I could use one. And I really don't want to use a pencil. I'm going to use my stylus, and I'm just going to trace around so I don't get any pencil marks on the caddy itself. Okay. And I know you can't see that, but I can see my lines pretty well. So I'm going to cut just inside the line. Okay guys, just inside the line, so that I know it's actually going to fit the bottom side of my caddy. I'm probably going like 1/8 of an inch inside that trace line. And I may have to adjust a little bit. I may have to cut it down a little bit more, but this is a great starting point. Okay, let me set that aside, flip this over, and see how this is going to fit. Like I said, I may have to trim a little bit, and I do. What I'm going to do is, before I actually start cutting, I'm going to mark, put a little mark on that side, put a little mark on this side. That way I know these 2 points go together, and if I trim something, I know what side that it needs to be on. And I'm going to trim this down just a little bit, this edge. Okay, I think I need to trim this side. And I think one more trim and I think I'm good. And I'm not taking off very much, guys. Okay. That's gonna do it for me. That's good for me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, instead of tracing again for the inside, I'm going to check to see if the inside fits. And I'll just cut another one, and it's fine. I'm just gonna cut another one to for the inside. Oh, come on. Now, I know that this point belongs here, so when I do this one, I'm going to put up a little mark on this side, so I know, again, on the inside what goes where. I just don't want to do my pencil marks. And this one I will cut on the line because I know it fits. I'm going to cut this one right on the line. Since I know this one goes like this, okay, that's fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a little mark on the inside of this one so I know where this one goes, okay? That way I keep track of my corners, okay. I'm going to put the outside one on first. Making sure my marks line up. So there's my mark, here's my other one. Trying to get it right before my glue dries on me. I think I got it. Okay, that's just to cover the bottom to make it look more finished. There we go, guys. Okay, so the inside I'm going to do the same, pressing down so that the inside the bottom adheres. Okay, I'm going to find my mark, which is right here in this corner. So here's that one. Two marks together, right there, and then place it down. Oops, sorry guys. Place it down, fits great. And then just smooth it out. Let it adhere. Now for my prototype, guys, I put my panels while it was still flat. Both inside and outside, and I decided that may not have been the greatest way, so we're gonna do panels afterwards, okay? Okay, so now what we're gonna work on is the handle. Okay, so your handle is 12 inches. I'm gonna set that aside. Your handle is 12 by 1.5, okay? And then I scored 1/2 inch on either side, okay? So it's 12 inches long, 1.5 inches wide, and of course you can certainly get a wider handle if you prefer. So let me go ahead and fold that in. And then I'm going to fold this one in as well. Okay, so, and then all I did was I simply glued both of them together like that. There. So I am going to put glue on this edge first. Just to make sure it's going to go down and not come up. Push the other side up or anything. Okay, I'm going to do this side. Okay, there's my handle. Now I don't have a piece long enough of the 6x6 to make one strip. So what I am going to do is I'm going to use the regular, you know, solid cardstock, and I am going to just take the length of the 11.5 by 8 cardstock and cut. This is 1/2 inch, so I'm going to cut 3/8 of an inch and just glue it right there. Okay. Okay, here we go, guys. I am going to glue this right there, and I'm going to leave this, and the brads should cover most of that. Okay, so, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and round this a little bit so that it doesn't, you know, have that serious crack in there. Not crack, but fold. So I'm just gonna fold this in just a little bit. I need another one for the underside. Okay, this is our handle. This is going to go right here on the side that has the 2 panels on it, because I feel like that's probably the strongest side. So it's going to go like this. Okay, so before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and make my holes for the brads, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I don't want it to go past that 1/2 inch mark. So I am going to go about right here. I should have measured this, but I'm not going to. I think that's a little too high. Okay, there's my first hole. And again, the other side with the 2 panels on it. That's probably good right there. Okay. And I didn't go really high from the top. I mean, I don't think there's a need. Okay. Now I'm going to make the holes on my handles. And again, I'm going to eyeball it. There's the first one. There's the second one. Okay. Okay, these are the brads I'm going to use. Before I put my inside panels, I'm going to put the one on the outside, and for that I have cut 6 panels from the paper, from the, you know, 6.5 or 6x6 paper pad. These are, I had it written down, 2 3/4 by 5 3/4, and I'm going to put them down this way. Okay. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? And the reason I put the holes in first was because after I put my panels down, I may not be able to make a good guesstimate on where the holes are supposed to be. That's why I made the holes first. So I am going to glue down all my panels on the outside. Okay, and I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay guys, so I have glued all my panels down, and I did what I said I wasn't going to do. I told myself not to glue the panels down until after the pockets go in, and I totally forgot. So we're going to make the pockets for the caddy, and all I did was glue down the inside panels, and all the panels are the same sizes. Okay, so isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. You know, honestly, at this point you could just put the handle on and have it like this, but that's not what I'm going to do. Let me go ahead and make the pockets. You're going to make 6 of these. You need 6 5x6 pieces of cardstock, okay? And then on the 6-inch side, you're going to score it 1/2 inch, 1.5, 4.5, and 5.5. And then on the short side, you're going to score it 1/2 inch, 3.5, 4.5. Okay, and the little mats that will go on here are going to be that are on the front. Let me show you the little mats that are right here on the front, these right here. Okay, those are 2.5 by 2.5, and the ones that go right here on the sides, I know, I realize it's hard to see, but they go on the sides, those are 2.5 by 3/4 inch. So you're going to take your scoreboard. We're going to score this. Okay, so on the 6-inch side, we are going to score at 1/2 inch. Here we go. 1/2 inch. Okay, so score at 1/2 inch. And for these guys, this is 110-pound cardstock because I have that in the 8.5 by 11. And then you score it 1.5, 4.5, and this is the 6-inch side, guys. And then 5.5. Okay. All right. And then you're going to turn it. One turn, and you are going to score it 1/2 inch, 3.5, and 4.5. All right, and we are going to do some cutting here. We are going to cut, where's my pencil? Here it is. We are going to cut all right, so we need the 1/2 inch that's by itself on the top, and then the 2 sections that are at the bottom. We need the 2 sections at the bottom. So this is our top, this is our bottom. We are going to cut right here on both sides, right there. And then we're gonna cut these 3 right here, totally out. Okay, so the 3 corners totally out. And then we are going to cut this at an angle, and then this one at an angle, and that's going to become our flap. So let me do that. And I cut right above that score line or the fold line. Okay, and then cut an angle right here, right up to that second score line. We're going to cut this out. I'm going to cut this, go ahead and cut it at an angle right there, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this at an angle. There you go. We're going to do the same right here. Cut this at an angle. I'm going to cut this at an angle as well. That's one of my flaps. This one comes totally off, right above the score line right here. and then an angle right there, right to the score line. So it should look like that. We are going to do the same as we did on our box, on our main piece. We're going to go ahead and glue that down. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start folding my creases. Fold this one in. Fold this one in. I'm going to fold these in, being careful not to tear those lines. And this one. Do the same over here. There we go, guys. Okay, so now we're going to glue these flaps in to the side right here. Trying to get it as centered as possible, or as squared as possible. So I just make sure that I go right up to that score line. Okay, and I'll do the next one. Right up to the score line. Should leave me a pretty square box. Now I am going, you could glue this down this way or the other way. Just doesn't matter. I glued mine this way because I could see where to put my glue. I just went ahead and kind of glued from this end right here to this side, right here, and then try to square your box up, and then just hold it there for a bit. Try to make sure your box is square. And once it kind of holds a little bit, then you can go in there and hold it down a little bit more with your finger. Make sure you get that good grip. Here's this one. And that's our box, guys. Okay. Now we're going to cover this. And this is what I've done with mine. I went ahead and matted the pattern paper, and then I took some of the little tiny cut aparts and I made another small mat, and I popped it up on some dimensional foam, and that is what I'm going to glue down. And of course, this is the top. And we'll glue that down. All right, there's that. And then for the sides, I went ahead and cut. I don't think I mentioned what these were. These are 3/4 inch by 2 3/4. And I cut these for the sides. I didn't mat these. So let me glue these down. You'll see in a little bit why I had said I wasn't going to glue those mats down until after this part was over. But that way you know what not to do. There are my sides, and here's my box, guys. Okay, so you have all your boxes made. Okay, you have 6 of them made. Here we go. You are going to take each box and you are going to glue down each box right here. Now, the reason I wasn't going to put these panels on was because if you take your, just use a piece of paper here, if you take your panels and put them on after you glued the box down, your panels cover these tabs right here, like that. It'll cover those tabs. Now, I did forget, because I guess that's how my mind was set on the first one. This is the way I did it. And I had said I was going to wait for these, and I didn't. If I'd had half a mind, I would cut more and glue it on top of this, but I'm not going to. So guys, don't glue your panels down, your outside panels, until after you glue your boxes down. Okay, your pockets. So all you have to do is put glue, I don't know if you could see that, is put glue on your box. And I put a good amount of glue, that way I can move it around if I have to get it centered. Okay. And then, I guess it doesn't matter where, yeah. I'm going to put this one right here. Okay. And just make sure that all your sides are even, you know, to the side of your edge there. And then just hold it there for a second, let it tack. And then you can go in there with your fingers on both sides and hold it down further so it'll tack even better, or so it'll actually glue down. Okay, so that one is kind of tacked down, so I'm going to go ahead and stick my hand in there and hold it together from both sides, being careful not to move it around. There you go, guys. There's our first box. All right, then you will continue to glue each of your boxes down, okay? And then we'll do the handle last. So let me continue to glue down these boxes, or our pockets. I keep calling them boxes, but they're pockets, okay? And remember, guys, don't do the outside panels until after this gluing is done, okay? Okay guys, I have glued all my boxes down. And look how pretty that looks. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Love, love, love. Okay, so again, don't glue your panels down until after you glue down your pockets. Okay, so it'll be a much cleaner, more finished look. The inside panels, don't glue the ones where your handles go. Okay, you can glue the other two on either side, but do not glue the one where your handles are going to go, because after you glue on your handle, you can go ahead and cover the you know, the brads, the back of the brads. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put these in. just a little bit. Put them into the hole that I have previously made. Okay, I know it's hard for you to see, but I want to make sure that the brads are going to land side to side. Okay, there's my first one. Now here's my second one. And you can just, you know, cover these up with, you know, just a round, you know, just another, I'll show you. Okay, there's that. And then your handle moves up and down, okay? So for the brads here, what I'm going to do is I am going to cut a circle. And that's what I have handy. I'm going to cut 2 of them. And I am simply going to glue them down right there to cover up the brad. And put glue on the brad itself, so it'll glue down to the circle. Put some glue on the circle here. And just glue this down. Cover up that brad. Dried up towel here. Just hold that down for a sec and make sure it adheres. All right, there you go, guys. That is how it's made, with the, you know, exception of putting the panels on after you put your boxes in or your pockets in, so that it will cover these tabs right here, you know, these edges. So yeah, there you go. Now, easy peasy. I just love this paper. Look at that. So if you look at it from this angle, you see the whole sheet. If you look at it from this angle, you see the whole sheet. And then on here, I tried to put what was at the bottom, on the bottom half of this. Like this one has that little cabana thing, or the hotel with the cabana way at the bottom. So I put the little cabana there. And this one, I just put the seashells. This one has a cactus at the bottom, the picture does. And then this one has the little bike at the bottom. So I just put, you know, the little scenes on there. And I just love it because every time you turn it, you see a complete page. There you go. All right, guys, that was so easy. It's really, really not that, you know, it's not difficult to make, and it's not really that time consuming. Yeah, and then you know, decorate it at your will, however you like. And there you go, guys. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and you all have a great day. Thanks a lot, guys.